Let's get back to strolling instead of scrolling. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your fam.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
This is the BCSN Pod Zone, your place for the news, views, and conversations about all things related to HBCU athletics. Here are the BCSN Sports Wrap, Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, Knights of the Round Table, the pregame show, the Carlos Brown Show, the O&G Strike Zone, and more in one place. We are changing the way you consume HBCU sports, one broadcast at a time.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, trying to get down.
Follow the Black College Sports Network on social media at MyBCSN1, the number 1, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at MyBCSN1.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Can I get the now bar, please? $1. Have a good one. Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show. Happy New Year, Rattler Nation. This is the O&G Strike Zone, live for the first time in 2023. I'm Brian Fulford. That's Kelvin Rozier and Kofi Hemingway. Happy New Year's, brothers. How y'all doing? How's the new year treating you so far?
So far, so good, man. You know, every day above ground is another opportunity to make progress and get it right. So, yeah, I'm grateful.
Yeah, it's the first day. I mean, it's our first show, you know, of the new year. So I'm bringing positive energy, man, for a while anyway.
Yeah, we're going to try to stay as positive as we can today. Those are real calls. Those aren't phone calls. We're going to try to stay as positive as we can. It's a new year. We're going to bring the blessings of 2023, get rid of the clouds of 2022, and hopefully start this year off on the right foot. I want to thank everybody who's already jumped in on YouTube and on Facebook. Those who may be also watching us on the Twitter stream, you can go ahead and jump on YouTube and Facebook when you get time and be a part of the chat. Happy New Year to everybody. And I tell you, man, we already got some stuff to talk about. Never a dry, dull day in Rattler Nation. So, but the positive news, January 4th, 2023, it's the dawn of a new era. And we say welcome to the family, officially to VP of Athletics, Tiffani-Dawn Sykes, who is already making moves as she's been on campus in Tallahassee for the past week. I just saw the YouTube introduction that she did, I'm assuming to maybe some administrators and coaches earlier today. We'll talk about some of the latest hires as she has hired some new staff already in place. We'll talk about some new coaching hires as well. We'll get into that. A lot to talk about there. And before we go too far, I want to simply also start the show by saying thank you to Michael Smith, the interim AD who took over after AD Gaucher resigned, who's had to do 8 months of just keeping the boat afloat. You know, and he's probably done more than that, so I don't want to minimize it by just that. But it definitely has not been an easy road, and he's done his best, I believe. He's somebody who loves and cares about FAMU, and we applaud him and his efforts. And hopefully, as we'll talk about here a little bit later, he won't be far gone from the athletic department, which we'll talk about here shortly. But just want to say thanks to him. But obviously, we turn the page to Tiffani-Dawn Sykes, who takes over as the AD. And I saw some interesting tweets that I really enjoyed. I thought I liked seeing from her, where she kind of tweeted out not only just sort of a roll call almost to to FAMU alumni who are working sort of in marketing or sports or broadcasting, where she just kind of maybe just wanted to just sort of build a Rolodex and kind of say who's out there, who's doing what, who are you? And then I also kind of just saw her send a nice tweet out, hey, to other administrators who are kind of, hey, what's a piece of advice you would give on the first day? And look, she said this is her dream job, and so I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, I've reached out a couple times via email, her personal email address, just to try to see if we could get her on, and I'm sure eventually we will. But I was really hopeful that we might be able to sneak her in and get her on today. But Kelvin, what's your thoughts here as we begin day one of the TDS Tiffani-Dawn Sykes era?
I'm excited to have her a part of the team. I like the fact that her first day she had some announcements, given that she had about 5 months before she started and when she was chosen for the job. So day one she had some appointments to announce. I thought that was real positive. And I saw her at the game. I know she's been the basketball game, which I know we'll talk about later. And she's been around. I know she's been down to the high school girls game and some other places, and she asked about places to eat around town, and so I like her presence. She seems to really be trying to engage herself with Rattler Nation and so forth, and get a feel of the community. So I'm excited about all of that.
Kofi, your thoughts on day one of the Tiffani-Dawn Sykes era?
She's a breath of fresh air. The first days are always positive and full of optimism and hope, just simply because I want to say, quite frankly, after last year, the last couple of years, and really the last 17, there's been a lot to be desired. So, we can't get any lower than we've been already before. We've seen 1-10 football seasons. We've seen one win in our basketball with our basketball teams. We've been as low as we could possibly go. And to have somebody that wants to be here is definitely a plus. Because it really starts with that. Not that you have to be here, but because you desire to be here. That to me is a big deal. Able to, obviously you're hitting the ground running. She's very accommodating. She seems to be cool, very engaging, and a people-oriented person, which is one of the things that will help you to navigate FAMU well. Right now, I want to say that we're in the honeymoon phase where people are excited. And I think because of her personality, I think that she can really deflect a lot of the swirling negativity, which is, I want to say not soon to come, but really a lot of it is already here. She's going to have to, as they say, woman up a little bit and deal with the tough issues. I think that, once the honeymoon phase is over, I think that we'll see really what we have. But we're going to have an opportunity to see right off the bat her leadership style and what she's really all about. And I think that that's cool, but she has my full support. I know I woke up this morning and was a little agitated with a couple of decisions that got announced before her day one. And I want to say, just best business practices keep the worst business manifestation from coming forth.
Yeah.
And if we just think about best business practices and what would be the best possible way to make this announcement, XYZ, we can stay away and stray away from a lot of the negativity that, we've been. Because really, Rattler Nation is trauma. We've had so much trauma that as soon as something touches our little sensitive areas, we finna go off. Like we gonna be like, oh no, not again. Oh God, my God, these mother effers, done sat up here and we back at this thing. Or God, oh my God, can we get one thing right, FAMU? Can we do it? Yeah, because we sensitive. We done been there. We done seen that. Oh, this sniffs of that darn nepotism. This right here. This what I'm talking about. Because we sensitive.
Yeah.
Because we've already been hurt. We've already seen it. And we don't want to see it again. The Bible says that it rains on the just and it rains on the unjust, right? So sooner or later, you got to go through the rain. Sunny day, everybody loves them. Tell me, baby, can you stand the rain? Can you stand it? We done stood the rain. But really, the deal is we don't want to see no unnecessary dark clouds. Now, don't be just bringing them with raggedy decision making and a lack of attention to detail. We don't just need unnecessary dark clouds. Florida has enough of them as it is. But don't bring the unnecessary, the dark clouds that we don't have to deal with, if you just use some wisdom. So that's where we at. I'm off my soapbox. I'm good.
Man, only on the O&G will you get scripture followed up by some new edition. Boy, that's why you come here, folks. That's why you come.
It's the milk.
And
take a swig of the milk. What kind of milk?
Go ahead and get some. Go ahead and get some milk.
Oat milk. Oat milk. Oat
OAT
milk.
Man.
For the lactose intolerant people.
Is that what that's for?
Lactose intolerant people.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I got you.
For the lactose tolerant people, is it good? Does it taste good?
Intolerant. Lactose intolerant.
But I'm just saying, but if you are tolerant, does it still taste good? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, yeah. You can definitely taste the oatiness in the oat milk, and it's creamy. I don't know how they do it. I'm just happy that they have it because I'm allergic to milk like that. Not lactose intolerant. I'm straight up allergic to it. Now,
so
I make my sacrifices. Say what now?
Is almond milk bad for you?
Almond milk is not bad. Almond milk is not necessarily dairy, but in terms of like drinking whole milk or having an abundance of milk products will have me sneezing and hacking and all kind of other stuff unnecessarily. Just builds up unnecessary mucus in my body. So,
man, God. Okay. I'm sorry that we went off on that milk tangent, folks. We're just curious about things. That's all, So, I mean, it was all good. But anyway, so before we get to talking about some of the hiring decisions that have been made, some of them head scratching, to say the least, we got to talk about what happened earlier this week.
Do
as we start? Yeah. And
why we got to talk about it?
Because look, I don't want to
Well,
be
we need to
accused
talk
on
about it.
this
I got
show.
something to say.
Look, I am, you know me, I am a stan. I am a Shalon Pillow stan. And I have stood on the corner and I have taken the tomato hits from you, Bobby, and others as I have tried to defend what is trying to be rebuilt. Okay? Now, as a coach, what I saw against Bethune-Cookman hurt my heart. And I know it hurt her heart Coach Pillow. I know it hurt. I know her assistant coach. I know it hurt his heart. So I know as coaches, there was a high level of disappointment, okay, in what we saw. And what was disappointing, and what we're talking about, in case you don't know and you haven't been paying attention, is the 36 point, was it 36? Yeah, 36-point loss to Bethune-Cookman on Monday night by our women's basketball team. Okay, now that was we got swept by the men. Later swept us, but that wasn't as bad as what we saw from the women. That was bad on a. Here's what I always say, guys: the three things you can always control: attitude, effort, and energy. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. Sometimes you don't have a good shooting night. Sometimes you're on the road and the officials don't seem like you're getting the calls, the crowd, everything can be working against you, but you always have control of attitude, effort, and energy. And I know coaches preach it, so I'm not going to sit here. Don't sit here and tell me that, oh, she ain't coaching it. No. What I saw was no effort by some players. I ain't gonna put names out there because I know they on scholarship, blah blah blah. But look, you don't have to just go back and look at the video. You can see it in the first 5 minutes of the ball game. There were people who weren't running back on defense. There were people who were allowing people to drive into the lane. Now, granted, Bethune came out hot. They were shooting their lights out. Okay, but the turnovers, 28 in the game. You had some players with more than 5. Close to 10. And I'm just like, y'all are better than this. I mean, that's not normal. You have been known to be better than this. Maybe you hadn't shown it. But, damn, the effort, though, the energy, the missed layups. We were down 26-6 in the first quarter. That game was conceivably over in the first quarter. They had one young lady at one point, doggone, had outscored us. Who was the girl from Bethune who outscored us at one point where she had like 23 points. We had like 21 or doggone close. And so it leaves me head scratching. It leaves me standing over here by myself in the corner. I can't say nothing as people fuss about what the hell is going on. That's a bad look. And there's no defending that other than to say is there's another game. That's all you can really say is, hey, there's another game. You get a chance to make up for it because that was bad. That was embarrassing. And I know we may get into talking about that, hey, there were no fans. The students weren't there. Well, thank God the students weren't there. Thank God the band wasn't there because that would have been even harder for that team to walk back into class and walk across campus after you took that kind of whooping. I'll step aside, Kelvin. You were there. How bad was it from a visual in the stadium? I watched it on YouTube, on Facebook. It was sick. How about in the snake pit? What was it like?
I'm going to try to keep it, for the most part, just the facts and the stats, right? We shot 29% from field goal percentage for the game. The women shot 20% from 3-point range. They shot 47% from the free throw line. They had 28 turnovers. I mean, do I need to? We were out rebounded by 10 by a 1-9 Bethune-Cookman team. They were 1-9. They had only one game. They were smaller than us. They had only one player, I think, over 6 foot. And some of the things you mentioned. First, let me just talk about the game itself in terms of being scheduled with the students not here. This is generally our biggest game. I don't know how the conference office made a mistake of scheduling all these rivalry games the first weekend on January before students are back on campus. That is unacceptable, and the SWAC office messed that up, and they got to get right.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Equally,
indeed.
equally as disappointing was the fact that people didn't know the game was going on. Heck, I got multiple calls. Folks just calling to talk with me, and I let them know I'm at the game, and they're like, "We play Bethune today." The point being is not everybody on social media like that. So there needs to be a better effort to get the word out in advance. I heard that. I even heard it today. A couple of coworkers, right? It was like, I didn't know we played this weekend. I mean, on Monday. So the crowd when the game started was just deplorable for a rivalry game. I mean, it it might have been 50 people when that game started,
Not
and I
1,100.
would tell you, I don't know who does the I I don't know who does the projection of the numbers in terms of attendance, but they full of it.
They were off by a
'Cause
few.
I did see what they posted, what the attendance was for the boys, and yeah, attendance was better, and people did wait till the boys play. Some people did call and knew we were playing. It was like, let me know when it's almost the girls' game is almost over. That's where our program is right now. People don't even want to come see them play, and that's unfortunate. They work hard, the players, the coaches. I'm gonna say the right thing, right? They work hard, and we got to try to pull them along. But I understand not wanting to see bad basketball. I think you have to compete for people time and attention, and putting a good product out there. And it's not a good product. I was very disappointed. I was hoping we would turn the corner and we were better. But it was not good. And what's her name, Grizzle? I don't know what happened with that young lady. She hasn't played look like since school let out. Uh, and she was our leading scorer and our only real ball handler to the point you was making. So most of our turnovers, I mean, the young lady, she was doing the best she could that they had running points sometime, but she must have got ripped mid court or as soon as she crossed over mid court on one at least five times, right? I mean,
They
just
they
ripped.
trapped they trapped the same pick and roll. It's called horns. Anybody who watches college basketball knows it. You put the two bigs are right there at the 3-point line. You go off the screen. Bethune doubled it every time, and she turned it. One time I watched her turn it over 3 straight times. And at
Yeah.
some point, I'm just thinking, I mean, is nobody going to help? Are we just going to go? Are we going to run the same? Anyway, yeah. So it was
No,
bad.
nobody would keep a dribble because nobody could dribble, and then you couldn't get basic entry pass. We had a size advantage down low. It defeated the purpose to have the bigs in there if you couldn't get to the ball and try to punish them for being small and undersized down low. But we couldn't even get entry pass in there. They were still in everything. We were so sloppy in the effort about getting back on defense. Right, you turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to go and play defense, block a shot. And I mean, not only did you not get back, you walked back several times.
Thank you.
It,
Thank you.
it,
Thank you.
it was just disappointing. I'm not going to even talk about it no more, man. I've lost optimism right now with that program.
First game of the conference season. What you just said
Rivalry.
hurts my heart to hear. Rivalry game, first game of the conference season. That hurt my heart. I want to add a couple more points, but Kofi, I want to give you an opportunity if you choose, if you have anything that you want to add.
Well, I mean, you guys have basically stated everything. I think, unfortunately, this was, how people say it's the perfect storm. This was not the perfect storm. This was a perfect opportunity. All things came together for us not to have a good game. At the end of the day, there are no excuses. I don't care what we're going through. I've seen our team play better, and I'm going to just simply chalk this up as their worst performance. Just like we had when we played Jackson State, this was their worst performance. It's over, and we got to see more if we're going to legitimately turn the page. I think the players are there for us to still have an opportunity to finish the season strong, but there has to be more effort. There has to be more focus. There has to be more execution. When you talk about the three things that you can control, we need to control those. As a coach, I can tell you the thing that really gets on my nerves the most is a player that doesn't exhibit any effort. Any effort, is I would rather get out there with people that want to be out there than to get out there with people that's not going to try. I don't want to hear it. You appeared on XYZ. You out here, you chose to play. This is a big deal. And it was obvious that Bethune-Cookman wanted this game a whole lot more than we did. And when that happens, you will see blowouts. You will see blowouts. You will get blown out. We got to do better, and that's just it.
And again, Bethune came into the ball game not with a better record. They were 1-9 coming. I mean, we were like 2-9 coming into this ball game. 2 wins against Tuskegee and who was it? Georgia Southern, I think. Bethune had 1 win, so they've had a pretty tough non-conference. Oh, I know we can. A couple of points you pointed out to Ariana Grizzle, why we haven't seen her. I don't know. Nobody is saying. Right now it's hush. I was curious if you were there, if you even saw her on the bench. Now that'd be one thing to me if you didn't see her on the bench. Okay, so
look, if there had been, sometimes a coach, I don't know, but this is me just reading in between the lines. She's not on any injury report. Right. Sometimes people get disciplined, behind the scenes. Like, look, I'm not going to have you doing XYZ. You're not going to be a long range. You're not going to do what you want to do on my team. Sure. And that's just it. Now, if it had been me out there on the floor, I might have just had to get thrown out the game. I would have turned over a table, thrown a couple of chairs.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Something like that.
I can't watch anymore.
Like,
I can't watch anymore of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to go to the
I'm
official.
Gonna do whatever I got to do to get thrown out the game. Because right now, this bullshit is not working. This is not it. This is not Rattler basketball. Y'all got to pick it up. Now, let me say this.
Go ahead.
Let me say this. I have seen our women's basketball, by and large, over the years, the women's basketball team has been more successful overall than our men. They have won regular season conference championships. They have won tournaments and gone to the NCAA tournament. I've seen it. I haven't, that being said, Rattler Nation has to be more engaged in our basketball program, or we're going to see more of the same. It cannot be, we can't be an all football school and expect for the rest of our athletic programs to have success. It's not going to work like that. Now, the importance of basketball is really monumental because it is a revenue generating sport.
Should be.
It's a revenue generating sport. That means the revenue that is generated in basketball, the athletic department, benefits financially from what happens at the gate. We've got to be more invested than what we are, and we're not at all, to say the least. We really don't care about basketball. And it's we got a very nice arena. We can't say the bathrooms are bad at the Lawson Center, We can't say that the concessions are bad. We can't say that it's bad parking. We can't say that the heat don't work, that it's hot in there. We can't say none of that. It's a great facility. It's a great facility. It's one of the tops among HBCUs. Is it perfect? No. But it's better than Gaither, in a lot of ways. And so facility-wise, we can't complain with that. And what we've got to understand, there's what's called a return on investment. We have the opportunity at FAMU that if we get behind our program, we'll probably see greater success in basketball and our Olympic sports a whole lot faster than we will see probably from even football, which we love to life and death. Because when you make it to the NCAA tournament, they actually make money when you go to different rounds, and you don't have to buy 1 million hotel rooms for your team. Mm-hmm. So there's a tremendous opportunity for us to take Rattler basketball to the next level. The issue has been for us, we're not as engaged as we need to be because there needs to be fire on behind both of our coaches and really behind the entire administration to give these guys what they need to compete at the very highest level. Enough with the excuses.
You wanted to add something in there, Kelvin? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one other disappointing thing for the men and the women's game. The Bethune got a chance to get a free throw, technical foul shot at the beginning of both games, which put us at a deficit because from a facility standpoint, we didn't have something that is required in terms of the system on the goal post itself.
The lights.
So
is it the lights? Yeah. It's the lights behind the backboard.
Yes, let me ask
the
you
lights behind the backboard.
So
I don't know how that happened.
Okay, well hold on. Hold on, Kofi. I know this. Oh, well, look, it's funny. Funny you bring this up, and I'm glad you brought this up because I had to do a little digging. That situation has been happening since early mid-December. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, here's how this works. The LED light, which is basically 4 lights that go around the backboard. In order for the game to be official in college, you have to have the lights, you have to have the clock, and you have to have the shot clock all be able to go to 0. Or the clock and the shot clock have to go to 0 along with the lights in order for a game to be official. When you don't have the LED lights working, and they check it during the pregame, they check it during the warm-ups, that is when the administrative technical is assessed. So when we started games in December with a 2-shot technical, that should have been an alarm at that point for somebody to get that situation fixed. Now, I don't know why it's not fixed. Maybe there's a shortage of the parts.
Brian, can I make a correction for you?
Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
I miss all my friends in school.
Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccine.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app.
make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No. 7 times the... Music, gaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment! Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBC.
Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
It's like a loot machine. All around town, people try to get down.
Follow the Black College Sports Network on social media at MyBCSN1, the number 1, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at MyBCSN1.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian, Kelvin, and Kofi. And as we were talking coming out of the last break, we were talking about the one little facilities hiccup that has sort of handicapped not only just our women's team but our men's team. Is a light fixture issue, an LED light fixture issue going on behind the backboard. Should be standard at all arenas, all NCAA college arenas, where you have to have 4 lights around the frame of the backboard, and it has to match in conjunction with the horn and the clock. We don't have the lights. The lights haven't worked since December. We don't know why. They probably haven't worked since the preseason. Don't know why. I don't know how we go into the start of the SWAC season without it. Now, I mean, we can speculate all day. I hate to do that. But either it's I got to believe, Kelvin, now you as a former facilities person might be able to shed light on how this process works. Is this potentially a back order issue with the lights?
No.
Because I'd hate to think.
No. No. Stop justifying. We spending too much time on this. Somebody didn't do their job. This is ridiculous. Somebody didn't do their job. Michael was left in charge. He saw this mess, and I want to say Coach McCullum and the female coach. What's her name? Coach Pillow. Lay my head on the pillow and all that other stuff. All of them are to blame for this. This should not have happened. We spending too much time trying to play Sherlock Holmes. We know what happened. And here's what this is what I surmise. They reported it, did the requisition. Somebody didn't follow through because we don't have anybody that's over the whole the facilities management aspect of athletics. I still, based off the hires that I saw today, I don't see anyone over facilities, which means you have to double down. If somebody's out of place, the job still has to get done. You have to find a way to do it. And it wasn't a priority for the current administration, which is why it didn't get done. Kelvin, and that's the bottom line. We justifying trying to figure. We spending too much time on this. Aggravating me. It's giving me a headache. I'm getting mad.
Kelvin.
The only thing I'll say, I agree with Kofi. You test these things out before the season even started, man. So that's the issue. Then you can order, and you got to worry about back orders and deliveries and stuff. And also, you should have a backup system anyway prior to. So if your main system, something happens to one of them, you can put it on. I will say that the goals are housed in Lawson. Lawson has a staff. That staff has been there, and then the director has been there for a while. So they know when they put them goals out that they're supposed to have that system, and everything should be. So I agree with Kofi. There's no excuses.
It's no excuse. You have to have an attention to detail.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Sorry, bro.
Oh, hey, it is what it is. But I'm just pointing it out, the fact that we're starting down 2-0 before the ball even tips because of an administrative technical. The ladies are traveling to Southern on the Louisiana swing, I believe. They're at Southern for the next game on Saturday, 4 o'clock. I was just kind of looking up to see what Southern's record is and whether they won, because everybody in the SWAC opened up their season on Monday, men and women's. And the real danger, Southern did win their opening game. They're 4-8 overall. Just by the reports from what I'm hearing, I hope whatever is fractured, because remember, Coach Pillow was really excited about what she saw from this group. And I don't know if maybe winning solves a lot of problems. Losing only brings people down, magnifies. And so when there's no balance, even a 500 ball club still has hope, because you win a game, lose a game, win 2 games, lose a game or 2. But when you go consecutive game after game after game after game after game, that wears on you mentally, spiritually, physically sometimes. So that team has to rally around something, somebody, someone. Hopefully Coach Pillow and the staff can find that thing. Jumping over to the men. The men, we've struggled to score points offensively. Another disappointing night in which we couldn't get over 60 points. We lost 67-59. You know, on the heels of not breaking 50 points against Purdue. You know, I tried to be on the optimistic side of a few wins that FAMU had against Purdue in the non-statistical final score wins. But losing to Bethune 67-59, now you got to go on the road again to Southern. Tough night, just statistically. We were led by Jordan Tillman with 19 points, 6 of 13 from the field, with 6 of 6 at the free throw line and 37 minutes played. Also off the bench, Byron Smith with 18 points in 27 minutes on 5 of 10 shooting. He too was 6 of 6 from the field. Should mention Jalen Bates pulled down 14 rebounds and 6 points in the ball game. But you know, shooting wise was not we just aren't a very good outside shooting team. Overall 3 of 12 from behind the arc. Overall we shot 38% from the field. You know, Bethune was 7 of 17 from the 3-point line, you know, and had 4 guys in double figures, and that'll pretty much do you in any day of the night. And so our men have to look. Last year though, the men lost first game of the year to Bethune, right? And then I believe once they went on a bit of a winning streak. So, you know, glass half full guy over here. You know, I'm gonna keep my optimism hat on for the men, and that maybe defense will come through, and that we are not a bad defensive team, and that maybe, you know, we find a way to eventually catch up on the offense. What do you want to add in there, Kofi? And then I'll go to you, Kelvin.
It's going to be the same. We're going to be middle of the pack or bottom tier of the conference. We shouldn't be, but based off what I've seen, that's where we're going to end up if things don't turn around. At this point, we have to evaluate. If you're evaluating every part of the program, so I'm going to do this with y'all. This is on the spot. So let's talk about it. So let's give the grade, highest being an A, lowest being an F. All right, so facilities in basketball, what would you give it? Kelvin?
A B plus.
All right, Brian?
I'd say A minus.
A minus? Okay, good. So we passing in that area. So let's say fan engagement. Rattler Nation's engagement with basketball from an attendance standpoint. What would you give it, Brian?
D.
Kelvin?
D.
I give it an F. It's nowhere near. We being nice. You know, people don't come to the games. Then we ain't buying no season tickets. None of that stuff. All right.
So
So
season tickets weren't even ready. I ain't get my season tickets to Monday because when I tried to buy them back in November, they wasn't ready and they wouldn't take my money. So I can't blame that on the fans.
So that brings me to our next question. Athletic administration's attentiveness to basketball. What would you give it? Kelvin?
D.
Kelvin gave it a D. Brian?
I'm trying to figure out why I'm not going to go worse than a D. And I can't think of why. I'm going to have to go F because I think the D that I'm giving to the fans is in part to the F, that the administrative attentiveness, which goes into the marketing, promotions, and all that stuff. So I think I'm going to say F on the administrative level for not finding a way to get the fans aware in more than just one way, more than just social media. So yeah, F.
Okay. A basketball environment in Lawson. What would you give it, Kelvin?
When the students and band are there, a B.
Brian?
I would agree with that. B. Low B.
But let's
I say
grade
B
it for
minus.
what it is. Game in, game out. What would you give it?
C.
Kelvin?
C.
B minus, because I go to the games and I'm there. So the environment is long as like I say, if the students and band are there, then we have a B minus. We have a B.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the training staff for basketball. And I think this kind of goes under athletic administrative attentiveness, but let's talk about it because training is an important aspect when we talk about training, as well as the strength and conditioning aspect. What would you give our basketball program, Brian? You're taking too long, man. Come on.
I know, and I'm trying not to be.
It is what it is. What is it?
It is what it is. D.
Kelvin.
I'm gonna split hairs here because I don't think it's the same way it used to be. I know when I was a part of the program and we traveled, we didn't have a trainer that could travel with us because we weren't staffed properly. I think that has been addressed, and they have certified trainers that travel with them now. I believe that's what I was told. So I'll give it a C if that's the case. It's a F if that's not the case.
Okay. So the highest grade that we've gotten is for the facilities right now, so far. And that wasn't even an A. I think you gave it an A minus, Brian. And then from everything else is not higher than a B. Most of the stuff that really matters is an F. So that brings is below average. Okay. So let's talk about coaching. What would you give our coaching right now, men's basketball? What would you give it, Brian?
C.
You're taking too long. Oh my God. Kelvin? Well, let me explain your C. Hold on a minute. Explain your C, Brian. Why is it a C? What are you basing this on? You're coach.
Okay,
we hire you to coach basketball to win basketball games, irregardless of what's going on in the environment. And I know all of this.
Hey, Brian, let me hop in. Let me hop on this.
In a second.
No, you asked the question. I got informed. I've got an informed decision because I was gonna give the same grade. You can't ask people to go on the road and play all Power 5 schools for a whole month and a half, and then blame that on the coach, man. I mean, come on.
I'm not blaming it on the coach. I'm talking about.
Hey, we already talked about you. We went through this list of resources and what we grade them. All right. At the end of the day, you haven't funded the program, nor have. I mean, we ain't even talked about recruiting budgets that don't exist, and then we talking about all these guarantees that they're bringing in that don't go back to the basketball program. It goes to the athletic fund to help out with all other sports. I mean, it just it's insane. So you're not going to win those games. All right. Bottom line, operating the way we operate. So I think C is fair. At this point.
Let me go back. Let me go back to why I give it a C, because while a lot of the stuff you're pointing out is very true, Kelvin, I do think from a basketball perspective, like I like how we play defense. I like how we defend. But at some point, I've got to wonder, why are we struggling so much offensively? And I think that goes to the possible players or recruitment of players that we're pulling in. See, if we're going to be a certain kind of team, and if the objective is to be the kind of team that can defend the full 94 feet, full 40 minutes, then obviously we need to have athletic type players, probably long, rangy, wing type players. We probably need a size or two. But I'm bothered by the fact that we knew offensively, the offense has not gotten better over the course of 2 months. And they've been practicing since November, so they've had a full 2 months. The offense has not gotten better. I don't know. Look, if you telling me guys can't get in the gym, I get it. I know. Okay, hell, go to the. There's got to be a gym somewhere in Tallahassee. You can't. At some point, Kelvin, as players and as coaches, we got to think outside the box. We got to think outside the box.
No. Do more with more. They are thinking outside the box. They are going. They I've seen them practice at DRS in a rec center and all that foolishness. No, man. We got to do more and more.
But at some point, the offensive individual players have to be able to improve it. And somewhere in the evaluation of these players, we have somehow missed on the talent evaluation of the guys we're bringing in if they aren't able to, like, we got 1 or 2 really exciting guys offensively that can put the ball in the hole. We need more of that. And why haven't we gotten more of that? Maybe that is regarding budget. Maybe that is recruiting. I don't know. But that's the only reason I'm giving it a C is because I feel like we need more. That's my explanation for the C.
Okay. So let me say this. So again, we have, based off what you all have graded the program, we have a below average basketball program. It's below average. It's not acceptable. So again, facilities we can improve. We need a stronger training staff. We need more administrative support and participation in it. We need more fan engagement and involvement from a financial standpoint and attendance standpoint. We need all of these things. Here's the deal, because as FAMUans, we fight, we win, whatever the battle be, right? That's what we do, And when things are not, then you have to look at it as to why is it this way. Again, I'm going to make this statement, then I'm going to say this. The men's program has never won a regular season conference title. Not one. Even in its heyday, the best we could do was number 2. We've never done it. We've lucked around and won the tournament a couple of times, okay? But regular season, we haven't done it in the MEAC or the SWAC. So we have to look at this if we're going to continue with this, because there's a lot to gain if we actually invest and as we used to say last year, because I'm trying to stop cussing a little bit, but I'm going to say what I got to say a little bit. We have to give a damn. We have to. That's what Rattlers. That's what we do. That's what makes FAMU. We are FAMUers because we give a damn. And we don't give a damn about basketball, which is why we're getting the results that we're getting. We'll make our comments on Facebook and social media and talk about how the program sucks, but we don't give to the basketball program. We don't go to the games as a whole. I mean, back in the 70s, there was 50,000 people in Tallahassee all the time that lived here. The city size has almost tripled. We got 300,000 people in Tallahassee and the metro area. We can't get 7,000 people to come to the basketball game on a consistent basis. That's ridiculous. Now, again, the reason why I'm saying this is because we had the absurd mindset that we're supposed to go after LeBron. How? How, goddammit? How? You don't have a training staff. You don't come to the game.
I hate you.
You don't give no money. How?
Uncle, I'm throwing in the flag, goddamn.
Exactly. Hold on.
I'm just like, come on, people.
I throw it in the towel. Stop it, Kofi. Stop it.
Look, I'm just saying. You know, Dr. Robinson carry his little glasses and his wife up there to the game,
that's why.
and they sit over there on the side, and the lights is out on the darn goalpost, and it's been that way since the fall. But we want a winning record in basketball.
Damn you. I can't even.
You know he right though.
That's why we're going to a break, because damn, he's right, and I hate him for being right so often. That was a great segment. Well done, Kofi. Well done. Our men and women are traveling to Louisiana this upcoming weekend. Maybe a road trip will be good. Some good bonding, team bonding. They play Southern on Saturday, and then Grambling on Monday. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers, folks. Thoughts and prayers. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about some other hires, some of the new hires that start the new year, and we got to talk about some things, some other things that we got to question. We have to ask questions. That's what we're doing today. Uncomfortable conversations, but we do it because we care. We give a damn. Do more with more. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone. We'll be back in just a moment.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Can I get the now bar, please? $1. Have a good one.
Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure. $1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Don't worry, Ma. We'll be there soon.
We? Is this the one?
Well, let's say I found the one who takes me to another level. Always stays calm under pressure. Most importantly, the one that helps me discover the coolest places.
This sounds wonderful.
Come outside, I'll introduce you.
They're here.
Definitely the one.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Frontier.
Support the Black College Sports Network so we can continue to provide you coverage. Go to myjbn.com/support and be a part of the Black College Sports Network.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No. 7 times the... Music, gaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment. Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
Your ad could be ran here. MyJBN.com/support. MyJBN.com/support for more information.
Let's get back to strolling instead of scrolling. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your fam.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
This is the BCSN Pod Zone, your place for the news, views, and conversations about all things related to HBCU athletics. Here are the BCSN Sports Wrap, Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, Knights of the Round Table, the pregame show, the Carlos Brown Show, the O&G Strike Zone, and more in one place. We are changing the way you consume HBCU sports, one broadcast at a time.
Welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian, Kelvin, and Kofi here. Glad to be back with you. Thank you to everybody watching us on YouTube and Facebook. Those of you maybe been watching on the Twitter stream as well. Please make sure that you hit the thumbs up button in whatever stream you're in, and make sure you're following us there on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at O&G Strike Zone. You can also download the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. You can find it on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store. Just search MyJBN, MyBCSN. We are a part of the Black College Sports Network. And one last thing, I want to let you all know about our network fundraiser that we're doing as part of Jericho Broadcast Networks. If you go to myjbn.com/grow, GROW, you can be a part of helping our organization and helping us grow. Of course, the Black College Sports Network is more than just the O&G Strike Zone. We have a host of shows and broadcasts that are catered towards the HBCU experience. And so you can choose whether it be a combo, or you can just give a certain dollar fee. Doesn't matter what it is. Every amount helps to continue to grow the network, helps to grow the shows, so on and so forth. So we're, just asking that you go to myjbn.com/grow and come grow with us as we move into 2023 and be a part of what we have going on here. Alrighty. So again, that's myjbn.com/grow. myjbn.com/grow. All right, we got to talk about some hires. AD VP Sykes has already made the first 3 hires of her administration to sort of bolster the staff. And one of those hires is a familiar face. Former interim AD Michael Smith is now the assistant VP for athletics, administration, and strategic initiatives. So Smith will assist in the administrative planning and leadership for all intercollegiate sports programs and athletic facilities. Additionally, he will be tasked with developing policies and strategies to optimize departmental effectiveness. AD Sykes quoted as saying, "I'm grateful Michael has accepted the role as assistant vice president for athletics/administration and strategic initiatives. Over the last few months, he has been incredibly supportive of my hire and has ensured that my transition has been smooth. He has repeatedly shown his invaluable knowledge, skill set, and unquestionable love for FAMU. I look forward to working closely with him to support our student athletes, coaches, and staff. As an alumnus and former FAMU student athlete with over 25 years of professional experience at FAMU, he's the perfect fit for this critical leadership role. Kelvin, what does obviously I read from the press release. What do you, maybe you can give a little nuance here when you hear about this role and position? What does it sound like it might look like?
So I got a couple of answers to that, right? The first thing I'm gonna say is that I appreciate that this announcement was made on the first day of her tenure, which leads me to believe that at least she signed off and was a part of that process. You know, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I hope everything comes together. You were going to need Mike there anyway because you're in the middle of the athletic calendar, and everything that's happened this far, and what the budget, and you got to start planning, projecting the budget for next year, and just understanding the processes at FAMU and how things are done and so forth. He'll be able to provide all that. He's very experienced in terms of FAMU operations. So I'll say it makes sense. I respect him. I think he's a good guy. And as long as this is, she's okay with it, it wasn't forced on her, then I'm fine with it. You notice my hesitancy with that is I need that to be the case though, and I'm hope that's the case. That because this is a new position, assistant VP for athletic administration and strategic initiatives. That's a new title. I'm not sure what all that means. And
yeah, me neither. There's a lot going on in that press release.
And so without having that, I'll take I'm a C approach, and I leave it right there for now.
Yeah. You want to quickly add anything, Kofi?
Sure. I would like to add something. All right. So, as my brother Kelvin so eloquently stated, Michael is a good guy. Michael has been there for FAMU athletics. He's got a ton of experience in FAMU athletics. This is his first, I want to say, his second official opportunity with FAMU athletics outside of the interim stuff. Because I think he was here with, what was that guy that was at Alcorn? What's his name? We shipped up.
Who, Derek Horn?
Yeah.
Horn.
He was on Derek Horn's staff, I believe, before. Was he?
I don't know. Yeah. He might have helped out for a little while. I don't know if he was full-time on that staff, but go ahead.
Okay. But he's got the one thing in my conversations with him, he's extremely articulate. He has a willingness to serve, and his heart is definitely in the right place, and he is for FAMU. He's not a selfish individual, to say the least. That being said, we need experts. We need experts. What I don't want to happen with these hires, because you need people on your team that you're going to be able to get stuff done with, people that you're going to agree with, people that you're going to love, people that, not going to necessarily cause a whole bunch of friction. But Rattler Nation within itself it's not difficult, but it is always interesting. All right. And the most dangerous snake is the snake that you don't see. So I need the people around her to be aware of I want to say the shenanigans that have gone on in the past, and to run a tight enough ship to really get things done. I like the fact that within that, the university has done a plan. She said that in her press conference for athletics, but I'd be willing to bet they don't have facilities in there.
Possible.
I'd be willing to bet they don't have a strong or progressive facilities initiative. And going back to what we were talking about before, we want, we love to get on Twitter when a 3-star, when one of those guys comes and they make the decision to come to FAMU, we love to post their stuff up. The reality is we're not going to have a legitimate or a consistent shot to get a 4 or 5-star athlete consistently without upgrading our facilities consistently in all of our sports.
Right.
It has to happen. They just hired a track coach, which we'll get into later, but they hired. Okay. I do have questions. I want to know what Michael was thinking when he hired him, which is my only drawback with this, because, you made the decision. I would like to know why. He don't have no championships as a head coach. He's gone at least 8 different places. I'm sorry,
all right, hold on.
5
Don't go
different
that.
places.
Let's hold. Don't go too far. Don't. I know. We want to get there. I want to get through this. Let me get through this quickly. The one thing let me add this about. Let me add this. The one thing I think might be the advantage of having Michael Smith on staff, and it's something you guys have both pointed out about when A.D. Gaucher had when he was there. He didn't keep anybody close to him who knew FAMU. You're the new person on campus. This is where Michael Smith comes in. He knows FAMU. Hopefully, he can help avoid some of the missteps that the previous administration had by knowing who to massage, how to talk to this person this way, or, hey, Mike, can you help me with this person because you've been here 25 years and the way they talk to you is going to be different than maybe how they deal with me. I'm just saying that could be the advantage of having a Michael Smith in the role that he is.
He's definitely an asset. He's definitely an asset. I've seen him work. I've seen him handle the 220 club. He knows how to get in the room. He can own a microphone. He reads the room well. He has good relationships. And for the most part, he keeps it real. Nobody's perfect, but he's a good person for her to have because he's not threatening to her. He's not a selfish or one of those sabotaging individuals. He's not one of them. So having him on staff is a good thing because he's got so much experience with FAMU. All right, let's go on to the next juicy topic because I'm ready to go in on this one.
Right. The other staff people, Marquel Broussard, who's coming in as the executive assistant to the VP. She serving as a compliance officer at Prairie View A&M since January 2020. Also worked at Grambling State in compliance office. So I would imagine that the relationship or knowledge base that those two had at Grambling is what, and this is the hire where you say, I need somebody who knows me, who knows what I want to do and how I see things. That's what I think Ms. Broussard is. And the executive assistant to the VP is that person to kind of maybe help manage the staff. Might be your chief of staff type position. Is that what that? I see you shaking your head a lot there, Kelvin. Okay. All right. So there's your chief of staff. Now, interesting hire here. The next one and last hire, Miss Brittany Johnson, who will serve as the senior associate AD for compliance and the senior women administrator. So Florida A&M's Chief Compliance and Ethics Officer Rika Calhoun oversaw the hiring process for the Senior Associate AD for the compliance position. And Johnson was later tapped as the SWA by Sykes. She joins the Rattlers after spending 2022 at South Alabama as the Associate AD for Student Athlete Development and Academic Success. Before South Alabama, she had stops at Prairie View as an Associate AD for Student Athlete Support Services, and Alabama A&M as an Assistant Director of Compliance. Kelvin, quickly, how do you see Ms. Johnson fitting into the scope? What do you think her role will be?
What I would say is that collectively these three make sense and give VP Sykes a good opportunity to get off to a good start, because she's got a chief of staff with a compliance background, number one, but someone she's already familiar with and someone that knows her expectations and will keep her informed. Then you got Mike on the side where he knows the FAMU and can be asset with that side of it. And then Brittany Johnson, again, someone who's experienced, number one. The first thing I look at is credentials and where you've been, what kind of resources you had to work with and so forth. And the fact that this is her pick, right? She chose to make this person her SWA, and I trust the committed process for change, or the hiring process for this one. I know that she was kept informed of this process, and so collectively, I'm pretty okay and optimistic with the group as a whole. And I do expect our compliance to be bang tight. Now, it don't mean that we might not take a hit coming up, prior, because they got to deal with stuff that happened prior to them getting in place. But I do think ultimately, whatever needs to get cleaned up will get cleaned up, and we'll operate a competent, professional NCAA compliant program with this team in place.
What do you anticipate the next hire to be? What should be the next hire?
Facilities.
I think Kofi kind of hit the nail on the head with two things: facilities, and then just for me, equally as important is fundraising, marketing, whatever that.
Community outreach, all that.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So we'll keep our. It'll be interesting to see what the next week or two looks like in terms of the hiring. Now, two hires that were made, or we said two hires that were officially announced, that these technically I don't think fall underneath the VP Sykes. These would be what seems to be the last two hires underneath the Michael Smith tenure. And that would be the announcement that Camise Patterson will become the 6th head coach of our Rattlers softball program. And so, just reading here from the press release from the athletics page, Smith says, "We are happy to announce Camise Patterson is our new softball head coach. She's a very intelligent person who has prepared herself for this opportunity. She is energetic and poised to build on the storied program's great legacy. She is committed to develop our student athletes and creating a championship atmosphere." So Patterson was basically the interim coach after Constance Orr resigned. So basically the coach who coached the team in the fall during fall ball was Coach Patterson. She's been on the staff for the last couple of seasons. She's even been part of the staff with Coach Veronica Wiggins as far back as 2016, 2018, when she was a volunteer assistant coach. and she was part of the 2016 MEAC Conference Championship team. Patterson played and graduated from Campbell University. 2015, she got a BS in kinesiology. So you know, she's been a part of the Wiggins tree. Or was too, but I think so. At least the one good thing I would say is that we're still sort of keeping Wiggins and Coach Wiggins' legacy nearby, which I think is important. What's your take, guys, on the Patterson hire? Do you think it should? Do you think the timing? Do you think it had to happen now? I know the softball season is right around the corner. I mean, it's probably a month away.
You can't. Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
One of the hiring philosophies is that if a program or a system is broken, you bring somebody in from the outside. If it's not broken and you have a rhythm and you have a flow, it's best to kind of pull from inside the program. If it got Coach Wiggins' blessing on it and she's been there with these girls throughout the fall, it would have been, I think, extremely difficult and irresponsible to bring somebody in from the outside with the season this close, you know, who may have a totally different philosophy, who does not know the young ladies, who may want to have their own ideals and personality and stuff that they want to do. If you bring somebody in from the outside, it could do more damage than good. So keeping within the flow of the program, bringing a measure of comfortability there. We have a pretty good team coming back. So with the greater attention to detail and focusing on the right things, knowing where the troubleshooting needs the focus, or where we need to focus our troubleshooting, is a good thing. So this isn't a bad hire, in my opinion. Kelvin?
I'm going to split hairs on this one also. The first thing I want to say is my issue with the next two hires, these two hires we're talking about now, is that it was announced the day before our AD started. Both of these positions were advertised all the way back in the summer. So, you know, you could have made this decision in the summer. You didn't have to wait till right before softball season start, camp start, or you could have just left her in place as interim. But I do know her, have worked with her. She's part of the coaching treaty family. She knows what the standard is. She was here. She left for like a year or two, and then came back, rejoined the staff with Coach Orr. Like I say, she knows the programs and how we've traditionally done things. It is a bit of a risk because she's just not been in this position. When Coach Wiggins was here, Coach Orr was the top assistant, and then Camise was the second assistant, right? The junior assistant, so to speak. So I'm interested to know who's on staff with her and helping her out. I like to see that part of it because she'll need, support and some experience around, I think. And just frankly, the part of why this decision probably was made late had to do with budgets. To be honest, that's the way I look at it. So I'm hopeful.
When you say budgets, I think of January, first business day of January. Like, this could have been done back in December, but maybe because of the budgets didn't open up until, hey, we got to wait until the first day of January.
No,
is that possible?
That's not what I'm saying.
Nope.
No, that's not what I'm saying. The budget was set for the whole athletic calendar year from the fall to June 29th. So the budget was already the budget in place. The way FAMU athletics operates and is funded, sometimes you may delay decisions in terms of personnel to get some salary savings and be able to use those salary savings to cover some other expenses you didn't budget, or you didn't meet expectation in terms of projected budget, or you went over on an expense side. So some of all these vacant positions that have been open the whole fall basically, and even the start of the AD, frankly, in January. I don't think it. I'm projecting here. Don't know for sure, but I'm thinking it had less to do with the AD and more with the university trying to manage the athletic budget shortfall.
Hey,
All
Brian.
right. Yes.
Yeah, we're still going to take calls on tonight. Is that correct?
Time is getting tight. It may not happen tonight. Because we still got to get we're getting here in that last segment here, and I know we didn't want to have time, but we'll have to hold off on the calls until next week's show. We will have that in place. Hopefully, we would have had it today, but we had a little change with our producers. So next week. All right, last hire that was made here underneath the Michael Smith hire. Now, on the surface, it may not seem controversial, but we have to ask the questions why. Because the men and women's track and field program there's been a lot of scrutiny about it over the last few years. So yesterday, Garfield Ellenwood II was named the director of men and women's track and field and cross country. Now, Ellenwood has 23 years of experience. Last year, he was at the University of Maryland as the assistant men's and women's track and field coach. Prior to that, he had a couple of seasons at Alabama State as the associate head men's and women's track coach there. Alabama State has had a pretty good track program in the SWAC. They won the 2021 men's indoor and the 2021 women's outdoor. And so Ellenwood was a part of that. He also has international ties. He also has been the head coach at Bethune-Cookman University, and also as a former runner. Now, here's where we get to a bit of the controversial news and notes. And, we bring this up because it's not in the press release, but it's been publicly, it's out there. And so responsible journalism, we have to ask the question, okay, how much or how aware was our university of the fact that Coach Ellenwood's name is surrounded and attached to one of the largest doping scandals that took place on U.S. soil? And I'm talking about the Balco probe. And, formerly at his time as a young track athlete, it was his coach. And I want to make sure we accurately state this, because the former Bethune-Cookman head track and field coach, he was suspended back in January of 2010 by the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency. So that means he was not allowed to coach in any meet that is governed by USA Track and Field during that time. That comes on the heels of his time spent at Bethune-Cookman, where he was the track and field coach there at Bethune-Cookman in 2007, where he did actually coach a national champion in a hurdler named Ronnie Ash. But unfortunately, he was fired from the school in 2009 for, quote, violations of university policy as well as MEAC and NCAA rules. He and along with an assistant. So obviously there's more there. You can do your research but I wanted to get into the topic of how long is too long, or I can say but let me rephrase that. How long is enough time to let it pass? I've read quotes from Ellenwood saying that he recognizes and admits his mistakes as a youth and uses that experience to steer student athletes away from making similar mistakes. Kofi, you've been very adamant. I've seen your quotes on your thoughts on Twitter. Want to give you the first chance to share your thoughts here in the open forum. Your thoughts on the hire of Coach Ellenwood II.
Well, let me first say I'm a guy that does believe in second chances. Okay. I believe that, one of the things with, our people are good at giving people second chances and additional opportunities to get it right. That being said, you take those chances when your program. I believe you take those chances with your program when your people, when you're at your program's at a stable place. Right now with our track program, we've lost several athletes because we've had people in position, for all intents and purposes, who haven't been the most capable or had the healthiest background when it comes to producing championships, winning championships, being a part of that also, and really with me, when it comes to choosing coaches, this is just my personal philosophy. Obviously, it's not theirs, but it's mine. I believe that when you hire a coach, you need to see productivity and experience. I believe that FAMU largely experiences success when you have a coach or you hire a coach who has already been proven. Darlene Moore has been proven. She was proven before she got to FAMU, which is why when she came to FAMU, she had additional success. Billy Joe had additional success because he had won in the playoffs and had been successful at the NAIA level and the Division II level. So when he came to FAMU, he already had a system in place and knew how to get stuff done, knew how to do more with less, all of that stuff. He fit right in because he had already had the experience. Even the same thing, even with Joe Taylor, he was able to hit the ground running with our program, largely because he knew what he was doing. He had won MEAC championships. He had done this at multiple stops. Willie Booker, who was the basketball coach when I was in school, had won JUCO national titles, at least state championships. He had several championships. So this guy had success. Every time we go with somebody, we have gone with somebody with no experience as a head or at one of our marquee programs or lackluster success, we get lackluster results. Okay. I don't want this to be a nepotism thing where the guy from this, that, and the other, and we hire him because you got experience with coaching one of my relatives, XYZ. No, fam, it ain't personal. Let me see your resume when it comes to team championships. Let me see your resume when it comes to handling and managing compliance issues. Let me see that. Let me see your record when it comes to managing grade point averages and getting kids to graduate and all of that stuff. I know from a fact that, having a strong testimony really helps people to come through a lot of stuff. But when you hire somebody to be the face of your program, you need somebody who has ideally a track record of success, even if it is at the high school level of managing a program, getting kids through, taking kids through adversity, and maintaining it. Then in addition to that, I want to see how you interact. What do other people who have worked with you say about you? What do they say? You know, what does North Carolina A&T say about this guy? Are they happy with him? If they're so happy with him, why was he released? You know, why does he have these 2-year stints at these other institutions and he hadn't proven, obviously, to be stable? You know, I like to see, you know, a measure of stability, not that you're moving or making lateral moves, but if you've been there, did the team win championships? Not individuals. Everybody got one person on their team that can really, really run or do something great. Okay, so I'm not all that impressed by that. How did the team perform on the conference level? How did the team perform on the national level? And do the people like you that had the opportunity to work with you, are they saying positive things about you? If they're not, why did we hire him? And that's my question. You know, if he's got a sketchy past, going through all of the compliance issues, the crazy compliance issues that we had before, and he's never been in charge of a program and does not know the culture at FAMU, why did we hire him? Why?
It's a great point. It's a great point.
You know, again, we need somebody, these kids, and I'm not saying this because XYZ, I'm saying this because I believe that of all of our athletic programs, our track kids have suffered probably the most.
I would agree with you on that. I would agree 100 on that.
All right. So let's give them somebody with a ton of experience that has won championships and is going to do right by the program. That's going to be able to hit the ground running with acquiring additional resources to help the program get to its next level. You know, you got one of my mans, he used to be our track coach that ran under Bobby Lang, who was here this summer. He was doing a good job till Kellen Winslow ran him off.
Ray Robinson.
Yeah.
That name. Jeez.
He had us on the right track. You know, Darlene Moore had us on the right track. You know, and to hear that she was a part of the process and then, you know, for whatever reason they decided to go in a different direction, I'm confused by that because we need people that understand where we are now, where we desire to go, and then have the tenacity to get us there. Not to mention Darlene Moore has a stellar compliance background. Does he have a stellar compliance background? You know,
I want to add some context to what you're talking about.
To me, what?
I said I wanted to add some context to what you were talking about because people may not be aware that Darlene Moore, along with Alan Turner, were finalists for this position, along with Coach Ellenwood. And I'm reading right from an article back in November from the FAMU and Online, where each candidate went through 3 meetings, one with the student athletes, the second with Vincent Williams, Director of Sports Medicine, and lastly with Carrie Hickey-Tollison, the Associate Athletic Director for Student Athlete Success and Competitive Excellence, as well as Lori Goddard, the Financial Aid Coordinator and Interim Director for Compliance and Diversity. I don't see, you know, anywhere that it says they met with, you know, I'm sure they met with Michael Smith, and I wonder to what degree AD Sykes was involved in it. So I just wanted to add that.
She had to have been involved in it knowing that she was going to start the day after they made this announcement. Michael had to have given her a call. They had to have been in communication. So she approved it. You know, my thing is, why? If Darlene Moore is down there and she has won championships, several MEAC titles, several conference titles, she's got a ton of experience, she loves FAMU, why didn't you bring her back? And why did you bring somebody with no championships and a very checkered past to come in and run our program? It's not like we want to have controversy on the highest of 7 hills. We'll handle it as it comes, but do we have to? Why do we have to bring somebody that's been probably behind one of the biggest doping scandals? Now, for all intents and purposes, God could step in, and turn this whole situation around, and maybe he's a diamond in the rough, and he's gonna prove everything wrong. But in terms of me saying that I like the hire, I can't say that yet. I can't say that. There's nothing about the way this was handled. There's nothing about his pedigree that makes me feel comfortable with him coming here right now. Knowing the condition of the program, knowing the mindset of our athletes, I really do feel like we could have done better. That being said, he's here now. So, he just gonna have to buckle up, Buttercup, and get it done. Because, right now I'm just kind of like shaking my head. I believe that we really could have done better. And from what I understand, there was pushback from Dr. Robinson on this, about this. I can't, no one, but I believe just knowing Dr. Robinson, knowing his skittishness or his ability to be skirmish about people that have a very checkered past, I'd be willing to bet. I know for a fact Dr. Robinson had to have been like, no, not right now. No. He had to have said no.
Kofi, Kelvin, what do you want to add here?
Well, Kofi said a lot. I'm not very excited about this hire. I just, for transparency, I work with Darlene, so I'm biased, but I'm biased with credibility. I know she won, her program won the top GPA for all sports for multiple years. She had 7 MEAC championship, cross country and outdoors. She beat A&T when A&T was first rolling, right? I know what kind of coach she is, so it's hard, and I know her credentials, so it's hard for me to be okay with anybody being picked over her at FAMU, to be honest. But even with that being said, I'm fine with. I have real concerns with the background. I have concerns with the fact that you seen the job hop. You had places 1 or 2 years over the last, and I'm talking about recent history. He wasn't even at Maryland. He wasn't even at Maryland when he was hired here. So I don't know what happened there. I know a couple of other HBCU he was at, not just the Bethune thing that's 10 years ago, but he was at a couple of more HBCUs, and he was dismissed. So what did you see in this process? And this was why I don't like the committed process sometimes. Again, this was a position that was advertised during the summer, and those interviews happened way back in September, I want to say. So the timing, why now? Number one, you have an interim in place. You could have just kept the interim in place, frankly. And then I think both of the other finalists' credentials, for me, I'd have been more comfortable with than this guy background and credentials. So and then it's not his first time or his family first time in Tallahassee. All right. He has a spouse that worked in the athletic department at one time too. And so I hope it's not nepotism. All right. It is what it is. I gotta say it like it is.
Wow.
I got nothing against the guy personally, but I want what's best for FAMU. And so
at the end of the day.
I don't know if this is best for FAMU. So he got to show me. He got to show me he want to be and that he gonna be around for a while. And he gonna do things the right way. I got to see it. I'm not convinced right now.
Very good points. Very good points. So again, those are the new hires that have come out, and again, we ask the questions that not too many other people are asking. I mean, obviously, outside of Rattler Blog Spot and us, You know, who else? This is fresh, so maybe we're bringing to light, because I'll tell you, I've gone through quite a bit of digging, and you got to go deep into the Google search, or at least you got to put certain words together for this kind of stuff to come out. So, you know, and again, I think that's pretty big in your sport, where that's the biggest thing. That's the thing that is the black mark in your sport, right? That's like, well, I don't want to draw comparisons, but that's the black mark in your sport. So when you have
Brian, let me just add one more thing, and you can think about what happened to our last track coach and where our track program is. We still got issues we dealing with the previous coach and administrative stuff. So
yeah,
so this just doesn't make any sense.
Somebody new. Yeah, exactly. So like you said, Kofi said, why would you bring all that extra attention? Only thing I can think of is, I hate to say they didn't know, but I
know. They do a background check on everybody that come through FAMU. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
They knew.
So then you, like you said, I mean, you're comfortable with this, and all right. Yeah. We'll just kind of sit back, and we got a lot of things that again, we told you at the beginning of the show, you got to sometimes have uncomfortable conversations when you care. And so that is all we've done in today's show. Had uncomfortable conversations, but at the end of the day, we care. And so now we'll wait to see what kind of improvements happen over the next week. We'll watch to see if our men and women's basketball teams can perform a little bit better out in Louisiana. If you're out that way, go support them. They need it. We'll keep our eyes and ears open as VP Sykes continues to evaluate, make hires. You know, you guys out there, hey, go ahead and tag and send AD Sykes a tweet. Tell her to come on to O&G Strike Zone next week, now that she's official. You know, we've been reaching out trying to get her, but we know that you guys would love to see her on the show and come talk with us, and maybe by your tweets to her, she'll go ahead and make that reservation happen next week. So that's going to do it. Final thoughts, Kofi, as we get ready to get out of here. Final words, final thoughts.
Man, let's really give some thought to where we're going in 2023. You know, there's more than one season besides football season. I know we love football, but, you know, there's more to Rattler athletics than football. All right. And, you know, we want to have a well-rounded athletic program. Let's think about what we want, what we want to achieve with FAMU athletics, and then how we're going to get there, but more importantly, how we individually can really help support FAMU athletics to get to its next level, because it's really there for the taking. There still has not been an HBCU in the Sweet 16. So therefore, FAMU could be the first HBCU to make the Sweet 16, not win a round, win 2 rounds, and make the Sweet 16. It's there. We could win in golf. We can win in tennis. We can win in track. We can win in whatever sport we're in. But it's going to take more than, quote unquote, hiring a coach. You know, you can't have a softball field without quality restrooms for multiple people and no concession stands. You know, you can't have a tennis court with no awnings for the patrons that may come and watch, you know, and then don't have adequate water fountains out there. We can do better, FAMU. We really can. And it's time for us to say, all right, AD Sykes, you're going to be here for the long haul. This is your dream job. Let's do what we can to support you and help you to take FAMU Athletics to its best season of success ever.
Kelvin, final thoughts and words.
Well, Happy New Year to everybody. 2023, we have a lot of spring sports kicking up now: baseball, softball, golf, tennis, so forth. So let's make sure that we don't forget about those programs. Come to the basketball home games. The next one ain't for a couple of weeks, but let's come and let's get our season tickets. Let's do our part. Let's try to push the team and see if we can be the 12th person. The difference maker in them, at least defending home turf and so forth, as we are with football. And yes, we have to ask not only our athletic administration, not only do we need to support them, and part of that support includes having these tough discussions, but we still need to make sure that we're communicating and keeping pressure on the administration, the board of trustees too, because we need our AD to be successful, and we need them to give her the resources and tools to be successful, and the autonomy and the freedom to make the decisions she need to make. We need an athletic capital campaign. Let's start with those few things, and that's all I got for now.
I'll close the show by letting you guys know, maybe those of you who are sneakerheads or those of you who do follow on Twitter, let you guys know that the LeBron 7s, the Rattler edition LeBron 7s. Now, I read the green and black. We've seen visuals of both. I'm told that both will go on sale Saturday. Now, where you got to go be creative and find out online where, because I don't know. I'm about to call one of my high school students and be like, hey, I need you to go find me these shoes online and just let me know where to send you some money. But the black and the green versions, of course, if you follow Coach Simmons, of course, he's got the black pair. He just can't help himself from flashing it in our face. So he's got the black pair, and the green pair has been out there as well. You can go scroll through our Twitter line. But for sneakerheads, $200 a pop. Hey, for those of you who got that kind of bread and willing to spend that. Now, after you go buy them shoes, go donate $100 to the Rattler Athletic Fund. Since you got $200 for some shoes, go donate $100 to the Rattler Athletic Fund in the name of your favorite sport. And let's try to build off of this. Let's not give Nike all our money with none of it technically coming back to FAMU. Okay, just a thought there. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Appreciate AD Drew for stepping in as a producer. We'll be back next Wednesday. Call lines will be open, guarantee. I'm gonna state that on everything I own. Call lines will be open next week, so be prepared to come in, give us your thoughts on all things involving FAMU athletics from the end of last year to the beginning of this year, and more. So for my brothers, Kelvin, Kofi, I'm Brian, Rattler Nation, you guys be safe, be well, and make sure to strike, and strike again. Good night, everybody. Peace out.